but in fact, it stay in the circle and it's hard to get out of it. I use my way because I process everything with my hands, and I did it from very first day. I was implementing the industrial upcycling, which is the methodology, in a factories. And 2 years later, industrial upcycling, based on the request of my clients, turn into the base for Industry 5.0. And this is not the fifth industrial revolution. Please understand, it is the first industrial evolution ever led by man, by human. Because when I'm speaking about waste, I'm not speaking only about the trash which we throw away in the garbage. This is just small share. We have 4 categories of waste. One is the physical waste. This is the trash. But the second is a social waste, which are people who would like to work, but because they are too young, too old, too wrong color of the skin or wrong education, whatever. There are many things why you can say, no, I don't want you. But these people would like to work. So this is social waste. Then you have a urban waste. You have a lot of empty factories, empty buildings, spaces. And in the same cities, you have people who does not have roof above their heads. And the developers built new green fields, which consume even more land. And these 89% of the office buildings all around the globe are utilized just less than 10 hours a day. All the rest is wasted. And the last waste, which is the process waste, just to imagine, I came from logistics, so I have very rich logistic experience. 56% of the shipping containers worldwide are empty. 56%. 64% of trucks are running within European Union empty. And because I do understand it as a one global picture, this is why I started to build completely new environment. I was so happy that the people know me from very special logistic projects. So I'm educating logistic efficiency, supply chain sustainability. And they know me that I am starting where the others end. And for a long time, I was thinking waste industry here is here to clean up the world. No, I'm sorry, it's not. The fact is waste industry is here to manage the waste. So if there will be no waste, which is waste prevention aim, there will be less business for waste industries. Or better to say, I'm just now preparing my speech for next week Indian conference. The same Shiv is participating in, but I will have a speech, one of the keynotes. And it's named Waste Industry in the Age of Industry 5.0. And generally, the position of the waste industry will change. It will be no more rewarded for increased waste volumes. And if you look at the charts and numbers presented by World Bank, then for example, Africa till 2050 should double the volume of waste. Double. I will do everything that in 10 years it will be half. Because waste prevention is directly connected to profit. If you start to prevent waste happen, you do not have to borrow your money. You have it. You have it on the ground. You have it under the carpet. You just have to take it. And this is all what I do. So I have speeches in France to fashion industry, in Latvia, in many countries. I do a lot of online. I realize project myself when being in a factory, 4 days of 5 or of 7 of my working week generally, I am spending in boiler suit in the factories. I am presenting to the general managers how much they can save, but I do present to the workers, which is much more bigger strength, much more bigger group, how they can build up the wasteless world together with me. And this make me proud. And all these 7 years, I did it without investors. I did it without incentives. I did it only from the money which I generate through realizing the project. And currently, Africa is the last continent which does not sound my speech on. There are people from 129 countries which we talk together about the implementation. And this is what I would like to share my speeches just to understand the way how I deliver. I call them wake-up calls. I show images and connect it to information which you will not expect. But these are coming from real business experience. I'm not an academic. I do not have even university education. I started as a worker in a steel factory 30 years ago. But my aim is to build wasteless world. And this is what I am teaching. This is what I'm educating in schools. This is what I am delivering. And I hope that 2020, COVID helped me a lot because a lot of people start to understand, and the businesses, the money is there. It's just they are stepping on it. It's lying on the ground. I call myself even the under the carpet looker because under the carpets. I am not out of box thinker because if you look around, everybody is out of box thinker. You even don't see the box. So how you can look above the box. So I rename myself 4 years ago, and I start to name myself under the carpet looker because there is the value. We have a lot of on the ground minds which we do not utilize at all, and I teach the others how to do. And I don't limit myself by segment. Last project which I am working is related to the wind energy and energy grid. The project before was the food waste, steel factory, car factory. It doesn't matter. It can be even a bank because wasting is omnipresent.
Yes.
And I teach how to see it, how to recognize, what to do with it, and how to realize the steps to avoid this. And to be honest, my logistic background helped me a lot because, as I said, I see the bird view of all the connections, and my brain work, I will say, strange ways. So I have partly visual memories and combine it somehow. I don't know how, but I am glad when I can speak to the people and share it because these wake-up calls act all the time the same. The audience will be speechless. For 1 to 3 minutes, they have no questions, nothing. But after, it's like a storm. And with Schiff, it took 1.5 months when he decided to open his own factory or his own company to spread Industry 5.0 in India. And we have included technologies like the processing of the solid waste without the municipal waste without sorting it. There is a Czech technology which can process it. We are concentrating on water.
MSW.
We are, for example, supporting a firefighting technology which can save 95% of water during the firefighting.
95%.
It's generally dry fog technology. It's called. It's a very special, made in Europe. Or we are supporting special anti-COVID, so-called polymeric disinfection, which you spray on a surface, and for 21 days, the COVID is not possible to infect you. So 25 days durability.
Okay.
And there are many projects which I all the time include in the Industry 5.0, including advanced planning systems, including really high-tech logistic stuff, but even awarmeries. And I do connect people and technologies in a very special way, which nobody maybe thought before it's possible, but it is possible. Only people did not try it. And I am not worrying to try. I just try. This is part of my way, how I do it. So this is just shortly. about and the way how I present. So I am very serious. I cannot smile during my presentation. Some people say I should. I cannot. The topic is so serious for me that I do not have anything else. For 7 years, I go one direction. And until I see the wasteless world, I will not end up. I know I will not live it in it. But I have a 17 years old daughter, and there are 7.7 billion people living on the planet which can live on it. And this is what I'm doing.
So it's more of a holistic view at waste, period. Not any kind of waste, and really making sure that where there's excess, you're matching it with where there's need, essentially. So that's a whole different perspective. It's a holistic view of matching need with demand and really finding ways to reduce the footprint of waste in every industry, essentially.
And you name it right. So generally, thanks to one of the reason for the current situation is that the production disconnected from consumption. So originally, you have produced so many breads, how many was needed? Currently, you produce many breads and you expect some will be sold. One of the number which I have in the presentation maybe surprised you, 75% of the global crop, mean food waste, never reach a second stage of production. So it's being planted, you collect it and you throw it away. I saw it in the factories. The remains on the plate in a restaurant, these are just 2% of the total number. And big share is the planning and communication and logistics. When I enter a company or a government, I ask them only one question. Do you want to generate waste or profit? That's so simple it is.
Right.
And this is why I'm so happy that I was even able to really show it in a real world. So I'm not a theoretic, I'm not an academic.
Right.
I work all my life with my work, with my hands and with my head. But I get the ability to connect it all. And this is why I become generally the founder and father of Industry 5.0.
So it requires really awareness and then the intentionality once you have the awareness.
Exactly. Yeah. And this is why you should start from schools.
A lot of education too, yeah.
From schools, but even the seniors, so you can include everyone, because just ask only one question. Do you want to live on a landfill? And even the waste pickers, if you ask them, and I asked them in India during one of the conferences where they has been present, even them, for whom is waste generally a money, they said, no, if I can choose, I will choose not to live on a landfill because I don't want my children do the same like me. You can help us? Yes, I can. But we have to connect together. And this is why I am happy to, for example, make the speeches, start a cooperation. I don't need to be present. I just need to transfer my eyes and my knowledge to you, to the audience, and even the waste industry. They number from World Bank was that 216, the estimated value of waste industry globally was 285 billion US dollars. For 2023, it's expected to be 435 billion. But we calculated 5 years we spent on calculated how much money can be saved if globally the industries prevent waste happen.
What impact will that have on the waste industry?
Sorry?
The impact, what's the projected impact on the waste industry?
So generally, the waste industry last year generated about 300, or estimated, because one part it's a gray economy, but the official estimated number is 300 billion. But for the waste prevention, we speak about 475 trillion US dollar a year of saving, which is completely different number. The only thing is why waste industry does not, I offer it to waste industry to support me 7 years ago, but all of them listened to my story of waste prevention and they said it will never happen. You
But
cannot prevent waste happen, but it works.
Yeah, but do they want to? Do they?
I am sure they will switch to, because the pressure from companies, from governments, you have Green Deals and Greta and all this pressure make them to change. We are giving them the chance to change, to switch from waste generation and packing, baling, selling to waste prevention, which is much more profitable. There is really significantly much more money. And waste industry in India started to change. The same will be here, because the pressure will be so strong that they cannot resist. They will survive, or they will grow, or they will go. That's all what they can do.
All right. So, because of course, when the presentation is made, and the first, the thoughts are going to be, what practical steps can I take, right? So, how formidable do the next practical steps appear to industries after your presentations?
One of the basic steps which we do in a factories. Currently in Europe, you have to, if you have a factory or a company, you have to make an evidence of your waste according to the waste categories, which are listed like steel, non-steel, and so on. We ask the companies not to separate their waste or their output according to the waste category, but to the product. So what you see here behind me, for example, this is a vinyl record. It's a broken. Here in Czech Republic is one of the biggest producers in the world. And they throw every single day up to 10,000 pieces because the sound is not right. And they are really top of the top. And because of that, they generated a lot of waste. So we asked them, please put it aside, so-called step which called recognize that waste must not become waste. And they put it on site and we start to make out of it a bowls. And then they recognize that it's really not a waste, but it's a vinyl record, which cannot be sold as a vinyl record. But if we scratch it or we cut it, this is hand cut, for example. Hello, Chef. Then this is the start. So first, you have to see your waste with different eyes. Second is that you have to reconsider what to do with it. This is very difficult because if you see it all the time as a waste, you do not see any other damage than a waste, which is not good. And the third one, realize it. Let's do it. Let's connect with the others, which can help you. So these 3 steps you can implement in any business. And this is, we help them with setting up so-called on-the-ground mines audit, which is help from outside to help them to see, because it's this 3R at the beginning, or this is 6R generally. Recognize, reconsider, realize, and then you have this reduce, reuse, recycle. But if you do the first 3 right, you don't need the other 3. And this is being implemented. So it's generally it's a no cost. You just switch the way how you see your output, or if we call it waste, how you see your waste. Because I don't work with waste, I work with production surplus, which is not waste until you put it in a garbage bin. This is according to the law and to the legislation.
So really just reorientation is the first step.
Yeah. Orientation, education, okay. Right from the emerging entrepreneurs in Africa to the very old ones. emerging industries. So education, reorientation.
And there are very good examples is in Africa as well. People who make from this rubber flip-flops, they make sculptures and so on. The only this is upcycling in the right way. The only issue is that it's just in a small scale. And we need it, if we would like to achieve the change, the wasteless world, we have to change the industries. Which means the producer of the flip-flop, which will be sitting in same city maybe, he has a lot of waste. But this waste never get into the hands of the producer of the flip-flops. But at the same time, maybe it can be good source for other producer to use. But there is a lot of absence of communication between the industries. Yes. Industries are encapsulated. So car industry does not speak with bike industry. Bike industry does not speak with agriculture and so on. So, but they use same things. They use same pallets. They use same boxes. But one throw it away and the second one buy it new.
So the coordination and communication is essential. So once the awareness is there and the intentionality is there, then there can be a coordination, a means of communicating what's needed, a collection center, if you will. So all that, can be organized once the awareness is there and each industry is intentional about wanting to do this. So it's doable, practical next steps.
This is why generally, exactly what you name, we are already working on. So we are working on a tool which will visualize the value of waste prevention. It's called Industry 5.0 World Augmented Reality. It's a tool which is generally in your smartphone can be. Second, we create a bank of on-the-ground mines, but on a global scale, because one day you don't need something and somebody in other country maybe will need it, but in the other day, you can use it in the same city, but it has to be on a global scale. And together with that, we are building a platform for global trading. Like you have the London Metal Exchange Bank, which concentrates only on metal, or in Shanghai you had in the past, you have the plastic, generally are the same for plastic.
Yes.
But it's all the time concentrated on a small tiny piece. And frequently it's even making some of the things worse because the people the waste industry wait for the highest price to be bidded to release the collected aluminium or steel or whatever. It must be streamlined. So it must be really according in the logistic, we will say it has to be lean. So in these processes. So this is why this long time of my professional background helps me, because lean, Six Sigma, all this methodology, I was implementing that.
You're speaking my language. You're speaking my language.
And what is the issue that we have in the industries, we have built many special languages, but the other industry does not understand it. You are a logistician, I am a logistician, lean is understandable, but if you go into agriculture, the people maybe will not understand. So this is why my speeches are all the time not full of very specific terms and so on. No, even when I'm writing, I'm trying to speak, I call it language of efficiency. The common language which my mother, which is 70, my grandfather, which is 97, my daughter, or anyone will understand.
Keeping it simple.
That's the point. Simple, understandable, and the best, try and do. Because if you, this is a box generally which came from China, inside came a metal part, and after one and only use, it's being thrown away. the people do not think what had it because it's a single use. So we take it, we use it as a box for different things, not the original one, but at the end we make out of it, because it's a semi-transparent, we make out of it a lamp for our client, which is producing colors, and we fill each of them with separate color. And you can imagine if you have it like a DNA around a lamp, every single one with slightly different color, how beautiful the image is.
Mm.
So this is just one of the examples.
Great, great. Because I was going to ask something. Here in Africa, we already have waste taking up our landfills, taking up our streets. You know, even some homes, even to have access to some homes because of waste is pretty difficult. So what would be the solution there? Because the waste already generated, we're not preventing waste this time because the waste already there. So what do we do, to get this waste, off?
We are happy that currently there are already several companies offering the possibility to process the existing waste without even sorting it. That's one of the most important part. You only have to crush it, that's true, but you don't have to sort it. And at the end, if I talk, for example, about a Czech technology called Ervo, which is available on the market, it costs about one of the machine which can process up to 15 tons per day, which is not a small volume, cost about 2.5 million US dollars. But you have 15 tons processed every single day, which is in a month, in a year, it can work continuous. It's not burning. It turned the waste into oil and into biochar, which can be used in the agriculture to make the soil more fruitful. So we have to combine processing of the existing waste of the landfills through similar technology which can be applied, plus implement the new mindset. I call it the waste-less mindset instead of the wasteful mindset. And the people will learn to produce less waste. And this less, we will not fill up the landfill. So if we do in a harmony, we will be really able to reduce significantly in a short time of a decade, maybe two, we will be able to reduce significantly the volume of waste. And at the same time, we will educate the new generation that waste is not a habit. Waste is something which is wrong. And if you start it's horrible when you are in a factory which has started a new project and you see all this setup, OEE and similar stuff, and you see already at the beginning, it's written, you can waste 15% of the material. It's already at the beginning on the setup. So from the very beginning, we count that waste is something which is normal. But if we ask our forefathers, if you look back in the history, wasting was never standard. It became standard 50 years ago generally, because of the very strong pressure out of the waste industry, which recognized it's a lot of money. It's a lot of profit. Simple. Yep. You just change the mindset. You put more garbage bin, you fill more garbage bin. In this way, recycling is generally, I call it a lie, because it's increasing the global volumes. It's not decreasing. If we will be able to process all the sorted, then fine, but it's not the way. According to
increase the disposable material. We didn't used to have so many disposable things. Now,
it is important. I show all the time to the audience when it is possible the difference between waste and no waste. I will show you how I do generally, because I try all the time, even during the online conference. So let's imagine we meet face to face, okay? I am used to give you my business card. You take it, everything is fine. Let's erase this memory and let's meet again. And there is one difference. Somebody put in front of us, in between us, in the middle, somebody put a new garbage bin, okay? I came to you, I fall down and my business card fall in the garbage bin. I am stupid, I do not have any second, but you would like to have it. So both of us look inside the garbage bin, it's clean and new, shiny. You say, okay, take it out, I will. So I take it out, I check it whether it's really not dirty, it is not. I hand it over to you, and if you take it from me, in Czech Republic, you take a penalty of 250,000 US dollars. Do you know why? It's the same business card. I will tell you why. Because the definition of waste, really definition implemented generally in almost all legislations all around the world, which I have checked, says waste is something what you place on a location dedicated for waste storage. That's all. So if it's made from gold or metal or whatever, waste industry does not care. How you prevent waste happen? Just stretch your hand and catch the product in the middle air. Here, it's still a product. If it comes below, it will be waste. But if you stretch the hand, it's not so simple, but to present. If you stretch your hand, you don't have a waste. You still have a product. So to prevent waste happen, you just have to cut the stream between product and waste. Of course, there are exceptions like nuclear waste, like dangerous waste, and so on. But in the global scale, it's just so tiny that you even don't recognize this. Because all the others, you can do with it. And this is the way. This is the way. So this is why for stretching a hand, you don't need capital investment. Of course, if you would like to buy the machine which can process immediately the existing waste, you have to invest. But the return of the investment is 2 years. So it's generally very fast return of investment.
Okay.
Interesting.
That's a good one. It's interesting. Quite interesting. Yes. Sorry, Ms. Bola, that is
Yes.
Mr. Shiv Chala. Shiv Chala is the one who introduced Mr. Michael Rada to us. He's in our investment forum group.
Good afternoon. How are you?
Him.
I'm super good.
Super nice to see you.
Yes, it has been an awesome day since 8 o'clock. First call today, Mr. Obina called me the first call today. I was going to the session, and then from there, after that, suddenly he messaged me about event, and I said straight away, I have a person. I have Michael, who is the right fit for your event. And you see,
thank you for the introduction. It's been a fascinating dialogue.
Yes. So actually, I am representing Industry 5.0 in India. So we have the MOU, and I was looking for similar opportunity for Michael to implement in Africa. So I think nothing best than ESGADIA.
Okay.
Kickstart.
Thank you. We appreciate that.
Because I think your network is very strong, as I checked it. And there will be the people who will really use the wake-up call to change the minds. As I said, it's not about that they have to have millions of dollars to start. No, they can start today, immediately. They can start to prevent waste happen because it does not cost anything.
Yes.
And what is great about it, if you succeed in one project, you are looking for the next one. It's like pushing you forward. And when your daughter told you that you changed the word for her, it's the feeling you cannot buy.
Absolutely. It starts right here.
Yes.
Starts right here. Absolutely. Well, I'm excited.
I can send you, for example, in August, I have a speech. This is my 2020 keynote generally in India. So
Okay.
it's online. I would like to concentrate partly on Africa. This is what
Okay.
usually I do because I don't repeat my speeches twice. I record
Okay.
it, but every event has slightly different content, or at least some of the slides are concentrating on the core topic. So I would like to concentrate on the Africa. I was really surprised by the numbers of for the bank, but that they really expect to double the volume of waste in next 10 years in Africa. And this is where I would like to build up
Okay.
other presentation, because not only the youth, but all the people in Africa should not be living on a landfill of the world. No, they should be living on a planet which is nice and blue.
Absolutely.
We have only one home, all of us.
Yep, that's our feeling, and you know, it's precious to us, and we want the value to be preserved, and
Yes.
the quality of life to be the very best that it can be.
And we can do it if we work
Yes.
together. We will achieve. It was 1.5 months, and he has his company. We are starting. I am sure we will be able to implement it even on a scale like India is a huge country. So even on this scale, and I make even a calculation how much for a government will be the investment in systematic waste prevention. It's just $1 a year per person. No more.
Okay.
Because it's really the change, and I know it from, if I will not speak from 7 years of personal experience, I will not trust it, but I do. That's the difference between all the scientists or many of those who write about it, but have no on-hand experience. I am logisticians. I cannot imagine to speak about something without even trying it. So I would be happy to be there. I would be happy if it fits in your program to share the message, to start with you, really, to start a change in Africa, and not only there. We can deliver everywhere. It doesn't matter where.
Okay.
And we should do it. And there will be more and more people like us, so, and businesses.
So you mentioned that you would send a presentation?
I can send you the links, yes.
Okay.
Should I do it directly to the chat? I can. So.
Yes, while Mr. Michael is busy, Bola, can we introduce ourselves, both of us? We don't know each other.
Yeah.
First time.
Yes.
So would you like my introduction in 90 seconds, and I call it's a virtual chai. Have you heard about chai?
Chai is in chai tea?
Yes, you're right. You're right. Where are you based?
I'm sorry?
Where are you based out of?
Oh, I'm based in the US.
US, okay. So
Yes.
London, very common chai is a, chai is a very common tea, in London, in UK. Okay. So myself, I am Shiv, and I have born and brought up in Calcutta. Have you heard about?
Yes, India.
India, Calcutta. Yes, I did my engineering in computer science, and thereafter I have moved to Nigeria, my first international job, where the whole world was afraid of telling Shiv, you have a very good job, settled job in India. Why are you going to Nigeria? But I always had passion of going abroad. And it started then in 2006. And now I am in Kuwait, traveled, worked in 12 countries in project management of oil and gas, mining and power industry. And with 22 years of experience in projects, I'm going back to India to clean India. So that is where my project 3R0WA starts. And I got connected with Obina and Michael, and I'll share you my website. And Obina is part of my ambassadors, global ambassadors in my company as well. So he's helping me how to reach Africa. And that's how world is small. I connected him to Michael today. and see you are having me.
Small world, and here we are.
Yes.
In a square of four, we're connected. All right. I'm, of course, I'm Nigerian. Currently reside in the U.S. And interestingly enough, my background is also project and program manager, certified. So that's what I've been trained in. Also, worked extensively in the healthcare industry and as well as other industries. But my passion has always been to make a difference. I've never found a cause that I didn't, take up in. Passionate about Africa, want to make a difference in the lives of people, regardless. So I've always been involved in nonprofit organizations and community, work. And so, this, the work of ESGADIA connected with me, and I've been passionately involved ever since I got connected. And so here we are. I'm a part of the organization and willing and ready to do all I can to make a difference in with regards to the continent. So I'm bought in, sold out to it, and will continue to do all I can to make a difference.
Absolutely, absolutely. I love Africa. I used to stay in Port Harcourt. So,
okay.
So then I worked in Senegal.
Yeah.
And I worked in South Africa. So,
okay.
I love people. When I'm in Africa, they call me African, and I'm proud to.
All right. Well, okay. So oil and gas. Did you work for Schlumberger?
No, I worked for ExxonMobil in South Africa.
Okay.
Yeah. And then ESCOM in South Africa is a power company. ESCOM, they are the power plant suppliers. And in Senegal, it was a gold mining company.
I see. Okay. Well, it's a pleasure.
So it is only me who never was in Africa.
Yeah, exactly. So now you're trying to fix it. So now you're trying to fix it.
It is important to be on site. Because if you change something, if you start with changing, it's important to show to the people that it's possible. So this is why I take the education as a very important part of every of the projects. So this similar workshops and so on, not only for the young ones, even all the seniors, because the seniors look for something different. They look for a meaningful life. And in many stages of the life and in many countries, if you go into rent, you are generally rated as a social waste. Nobody will tell you, but you are losing your meaningful life. And this is why I am trying, even in Czech Republic, work a lot with seniors to bring them back. So, okay, it seems to be a very strong group. So I hope we can start to change the world together. 1 million ton, just imagine.
We can.
It was just
of course we can.
It was just
we can.
short trial of me. And so I will say 1 billion next year should be so fine in the volume of tons, which we can prevent it to happen.
We set a goal and we begin to work the plan. Right, Shiv?
Yes, I like the dates and numbers. I just spoke to my team. And Michael, actually, just towards my team, I was making my budgeting. And one aspect was training and penetrating through training of individuals. So I'm looking to come up with some educational programs, short 30 minutes, and sell them out for like $50. Because I want to change the mindset of people, and it's very, very important. I give them this training, and I think it will be very popular if we come up with some, innovative way of improving their lifestyle, right? So I'm very seriously, today one of my teammates, she made a presentation. She wants to sell this program, and I asked her, I want quality, because the media should be very nice. If you're having a webinars and the quality of media is bad, it will not be sellable. So we'll discuss further. And that is how I can make more penetration.
The mindset is the toughest thing to crack, and if you don't crack that nut, you're not going to progress.
But if you crack it, you have the people on your side.
Yes,
And this is, I was surprised about it that it works. And it really doesn't matter if you speak about a CEO of a large corporation or a worker. First time you crack it, you have him or have her on your side. And we have to use the modern age technology, of course. Why not? We are having it. So applications, augmented reality, mobile phones, all of these. And just to connect it, I say, I don't want to live in a digital form because I will not be human anymore if they digitalize. And it looks like if you look at the COVID time and lockdowns and so on, the work is digitalized,
everything.
education is digitalized, relaxation is digitalized. So what is the
Digital
rest?
overload.
Is just the man should be, and then we will be all happy, not me. So okay. So is there anything else which you would like to point out that maybe it is not the right content of the presentation, or was it what you will say it will benefit to our conference?
Yes, first of all, I want to say, yes, it is, the presentation is okay, it's it's a good development. To us, we want to, have a synergy, we cooperate with you. First, like I said, the waste are already here. While we're trying to recycle the waste, clean up the environment, we also have the preventive, aspect of it. So it is a welcome development. It's something that we want to partner with.
Okay. Happy to hear.
Thank you. Ms. Adesi, please.
I concur.
Great. And let me also say that for quite some years now, I've been
Oh, you're frozen.
So it's not freezing only in Czech Republic, it's already freezing in Africa.
Well, the sun will thaw it out in a moment, I'm sure. Let me see.
Tell me about this conference. Is this your idea, Bola, or is ESGADIA's idea? What is the conference about?
It says ESGADIA International Conference.
Okay.
So we'll have, I'm sorry?
What's the topic? What is the agenda of the conference?
Really, the theme is, I guess he's gone. He'll be back. The theme is really it's to focus on the economic opportunities in Africa. The theme is the pasture is green in Africa because there's so much. I mean, Africa is so enriched, so greatly endowed. And the challenge has been leadership and to really focus on what is present in Africa and to really let the people know and to speak to the issues and what needs to be addressed. So we're looking at a lot of different, different industries, different resources, and to also focus the youth, as far as the opportunities in Africa, because one of the things that happens is with a lot of brain, loss, with a lot of people who leave. And so we lose, a lot of, brain power, a lot of resources are on different shores, right? If you look at a lot of countries, a lot of our great brains, we have brain drain, essentially. They're, different countries benefiting different nations, and we still have a lot within the nations as well. But speaking for Nigeria especially, we're doing so many great things in so many nations, right? But we want them to to stay and see the opportunities within the nations in Africa, and to put those things to use and to develop the nations as well. At the same time, we want to make sure there's good governance within the nations so that we're able to take advantage and to develop our nations as well. So we want to speak to those different issues and the different industries, the things that need to be done, and and just really address all those different issues and to speak to the opportunities that exist within Africa. You're back.
Thank you, Mr. Dusi. Sorry, yes, I'm back. I lost the network, wasn't friendly.
Yeah, you froze for a minute and then
Yes.
you disappeared.
Yeah, so I was saying that in the area of waste, that is an area that ESGADIA is very much interested in because we see waste as a very, apart from cleaning up the environment, you know, there are a lot of funds are trapped in waste. A lot of waste, a lot of wet rather, are trapped in waste. I do know that in the area of polymers, for example, there are various, technologies of, recycling polymers from waste, tire, pyrolysis, waste to energy, okay, and then to waste to, to other products like rubberized asphalt, tire recycling, all of that, plastic recycling as well, polymerized, asphalt as well, even using plastic. So all of these areas, ESGADIA will want to, invest in. And, even in the area of metals, recycling of catalytic converter, to various precious metals for industrial applications. So all of this area is holistically, we want to actually delve into waste and make sure that we clean up our environment. So I must tell you that this meeting is timely. It's something that we want to really, look into, and it's top on our list of priority, I must tell you. So you're welcome, Mr. Michael Rada. We're happy to have you, cooperate with us. So we'll probably look at what you sent. Of course, I don't know if I availed you with our email already. Otherwise, I'm going to avail you with our email so that you send us what you have, and then we'll look at it and then see how we can draw apart from this upcoming conference, which you'll be speaking. We also want to have an understanding with you as to how to work. We want to represent you in Africa. We want to collaborate with you in Africa, so that we'll find a way. Yeah.
I would like to do it same way as we did with Shift generally, to sign an agreement about a cooperation to prepare all these steps, because as I said, it doesn't matter which industry or which continent you are in or which country, the system, I am changing the system, and the system generally is the same. So it will be applicable if we come to some solution. This is why I would like to summarize this and make this bank of information and materials, and so, because it will be the global source of information and of all. So I'm happy we can. Just the presentation which I sent, I will not repeat them. The presentation which I will prepare for your event will be concentrated on Africa. The first step will be how to get rid of the existing waste, but in combination of the change mindset, which will, so maybe I will ask you for some images and so on, so we can implement directly pictures from your own, that the people will recognize, yes, these are our pictures. That's all the time important. Okay.
Sounds good.
That's right.
Right.
So thank you very much. It was a nice time to be with one leg in Africa, second leg in America, and with my hand I was in India probably. So we play a little twister.
That's right.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Truly global.
So
yeah, sure.
Have a nice weekend.
We're in one village, a global village.
Yes.
Yeah? That's what it means.
Global village.
I call it one home, and you will see it in the second presentation, which I sent you. This is one of the latest. This is translation of a presentation which I had 1 month ago on a logistic conference. It's called Way Home. So you will see it there. So have a nice day, have a nice weekend, free of waste and wasting in all its forms.
All right.
And please, all of you, stay safe.
Have
It's
a waste-free
Thank you.
weekend.
Thank you.
It's important.
Thank you too.
Take care, gentlemen.
Yeah, Mr.
Thank
Shim,
you.
thank you so much.
Bye-bye.
Thank you for coming.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Bye.